Next, we have a very hardworking young teacher. Kate Louden grew up in Brownsburg, and she graduated from Marian University in 2010 with a degree in elementary education. And she has spent this last year teaching 5th grade at Holy Cross Central School on the east side of Indianapolis. And bless her heart, she got going with Built to Play 60 and has a great project.
If I talk really fast, it's because I'm used to speaking to about 19, 10-year-olds all at once, so I'm a little bit nervous right now. I first got started with Field Play 60. I was student teaching at the school I'm teaching at now with kindergarten, and one day, it's like our first day outside recess after it's been done being 20 degrees outside. One of the students pulled a broken frisbee out of a snowbank, and they played with it for 2 weeks straight, and it was the only piece of playground equipment they had. We don't have a playground because they renovated the school. I had to use up the parking lot area. There were no balls, no jump ropes. The basketballs didn't have rims on them. And I already knew Michelle at that point, and I said, tell her about this. She goes, I have the program for you. So that's how I got into that, and then came to the meeting in the fall, and I was like, all right, yes, go and do this. I'm going to write this grant, get it done in 2 weeks, and it did not happen. Turns out you gotta write lesson plans once a week. So, but then a couple months later, around November, my principal came to me and she goes, we have this project called Project 18. Would you like to do it? I think your class would be really great. I was like, oh, sure. And she hands me this binder, and it is literally about that thick, yeah. Lesson plans of nutrition and physical activity and holistic health. And I was like, well, this will work out pretty right because it's the same thing. Why not do them at the same time? Which is exactly what we did. Does that work? Okay, what we decided to do is basically we taught the curriculum from the Project 18 binder and used the activities for that challenge as our Field Play 60 kickoff. What Project 18 is, it's developed by Peyton and St. Vincent Children's Hospital and Marsh and Ball State, and you just kind of go through this contest and teach all these activities and how the kids go on field trips and guest speakers and all that kind of thing. So, in terms of grant writing, like I said, really was on, so I'm going to write this grant and get it done. And again, that didn't happen, so deadline passed. All right, cool. I got 3 more months, I can do it. Didn't happen. Christmas, all that kind of thing. So it's really convenient that if you don't happen to get to it, or if you don't have everything ready in time, you've got another deadline coming up in about 3 months. Getting started is the easy part. You know, even right now, you have tons and tons of ideas. What you have to do is kind of consolidate them and decide, this is what I'm going to do for this time. Maybe next time I write the grant, this is what we can do. So if you have more ideas than you can handle all at once, I would say just pick one and stick with it. The questions, they kind of confused me the first time I read them. And then after you kind of go through them, you know, rough draft, brainstorm, that kind of thing. The buddy system, I mostly did this program mostly by myself. It's not that the support wasn't there, but we have a very small school, very small staff, and obviously everybody's busy all the time. So I would definitely recommend having at least one other person, if not like everybody, and have an entire team to help you out. Also, the Dairy Council was very helpful. Michelle was already my friend. She was my boss. Sometimes she was my mom. And once I became a teacher, she kind of became my agent. So anything I need, I call her for. She has ideas for me. She calls me. It's really great. And they'll also proofread your questions for you, give you ideas for your grant. If you say, you know, does this sound right? They'll say yes and add this or take that out or whatever. They're very helpful. I was really intimidated because I was like, well, I was reading the playbook and I was like, I don't have one great big idea. You know, we're not really into restyling the cafeteria and we don't need a brand new gym or anything like that. So what it is, I picked, you know, really small, like we needed gym balls or we needed cones or we needed, you know, just healthy snacks in the school. So I picked really little things rather than doing one big thing to use the money for, and that worked out pretty well. I guess I'd use your contacts. I already knew Michelle. I knew DeWitt Jackson, who is the chef here, and they both knew people, and they said, well, call this person, they'll be able to help you out. So basically, any favor you can call in, I would say do it. Shoot for the moon. There was something we were wanting to do, didn't happen, but the point is, the only thing that people can tell you is no. So it's not like you're going to get yelled at for asking for too much. Anyway, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. It's not working. Also, the Project 18 curriculum, I taught it as science. So we took a break from our science textbook for about 6-8 weeks and used that as well because it has all the health and wellness standards tied to it. And other school needs as well, like we're trying to tie it into iStep, get it into the cafeteria. So if you're thinking, well, this grant writing stuff, these projects is way too time consuming, there's other things we need to be focusing on, the best thing you can do is put 2 and 2 together and get it all done at once. It's all our fault, the 5th grade, because it's just my class and this one we were doing with. What we did for our kickoff and also for Project 18, we took a field trip to Marshall. We did very similar activity. The kids had to write, they found healthy recipes and cookbooks, and they'd go and they had to budget it out and decide, like you have $30, what can you afford? How can you save money on your groceries, that kind of thing. DeWitt Jackson, he did come in and he talked to our class about working with the Colts and why it's important to, connect physical activity with nutrition. And then he taught the kids how to make fruit and yogurt parfaits. They made ants on a log, and they made cheese and pretzel sticks. And they brought them out to everybody in the school and read them a little bit of a presentation about what they've been learning, what they've been teaching. And we had this health carnival. It's actually the students' idea. They came up with it all on their own. And we invited all our friends and our families, brothers and sisters. And they put on a play. They put on presentations that had to do not only do with portion sizes and stretching, but also bullying and communication and the other side of physical of wellness. In terms of the whole school, next month we are having a get your dairy contest where you try to see which class can drink the most milk, the most yogurt, get the most cheese into their diet each day, and then we'll have a contest individual and class and teacher level as well. And then for the future, we kind of established a Field to Play 60 student committee where we get a couple kids from each grade and they decide what activities we want to have in the school, whatever we want to work towards, so that way the students get involved and it's not just the teachers telling them, hey, this is what we're going to do. And we decided that we would have one kind of school-wide activity a year, and then we would also pair up the grades. So the kindergarten and the 8th grade would come up with an activity for just them to do. The 2nd grade and the 6th grade would do something else. So that way, the upper grades see the lower grades, and the 8th grade can teach the kindergartners the 5 food groups, and the kindergartners can teach the 8th grade that it's still fun to run around and have fun. Okay, this is us at the grocery store. Again, they took a tour, they got to try all different kinds of food, had to budget out their recipes. They went shopping, they were actually able to go through the cash register line and check out and see their receipt, and they learned about how generic is a little bit cheaper than brand name, that kind of thing. And they all really enjoyed it. They also were able to taste a couple different kinds of foods. They had hummus and pita bread, and they tried edamame beans. And there was really kind of more it's like we said, they don't do the shopping, but they can tell their parents, we'd like to have this. And we were trying to find foods that were accessible to them. We didn't want to have things they couldn't afford or things they couldn't make on their own. We wanted, things you can prepare easy to do, like if mom's not home or dad's not around to, cook for you. This is DeWitt. He's that guy down there in the bottom, black cold shirt. This is kind of them just making their snacks. And they had a really great time. Poor DeWitt, I think he signed 19 autographs that day. He was famous. This is our our kickoff. That was also our health carnival. The play that we did starred Peyton Manning. He was a little bit sad and depressed after the Saints lost, or the Saints won the Super Bowl. The Colts lost. So he's sitting on his couch watching Home and Garden. It's got junk food all around him, and then his teammates come in and they're like, oh man, hey, this is not good. And then they call in the Holy Cross 5th grade, and the Holy Cross 5th grade is able to tell them everything that they learned in Project 18 and field to play 60, and they get him back on his feet and ready in shape for the next season. So it's pretty great. And these are just pictures from our health carnival, open play, presentations. We had about 70 people there, which is not a whole lot, but when you only start with 19 students in the first place, we had a great turnout. It is lots of work, but it's totally worth it. The students, I've never seen them more engaged in my life. Well, in the year that I've had them, they were asking, asking questions and discussion, and Miss Louden, can we do this, and we want to do this again, and what exercise are we going to learn today? They had a great time. Anything is something. It doesn't have to be a big giant production. It doesn't have to be the hardest thing you've ever done. It doesn't have to be terribly stressful. As long as you're communicating to them nutrition and your 60 minutes, you never really can see inside their brains what it is they're learning, but you'd be amazed at the little things that they pick up. Okay, so use the resources, use the people you know, go online, steal everybody else's ideas, ask for help if it gets too hard. Dairy Council's here for you. You are, come on. And if you have any questions, just